Morning, everyone. We're live.
Morning.
Happy Wednesday. Happy September. I don't know about you ladies. I woke up this morning and it's funny. I've heard everything pumpkin spice. I've heard all about the pumpkins and the apples this morning. And the only thing I could think of was our fall virtual travel show. I mean, that's really what September 1st is about, right?
Right.
So welcome today. My name is Rachel. I'm typically behind the scenes, but these last few months, you probably are getting pretty familiar with my face here. It pretty much shows up every week. Happy to see you again. We have our wonderful guides here today with us as well to share about upcoming trips for 21, 22, and 23. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a second here. I do want to mention also we have Judy, who's another travel planner for us. She's not available today as well, but we want to give her a shout out because she also puts a lot of work in behind the scenes to make these trips go as well. So how this works today, the guides are going to go through our schedule of trips for the next few years. Listen in, take notes if there's some trips that interest you. If you have any questions, definitely you can go ahead and comment at that time. Or if you have a comment, go ahead and put that in. We're going to go ahead and wait to visit those until the end, but there will be a time for that and we will definitely see them. So we encourage you to make those comments or questions and we'll check those at the end. Post-pandemic, these ladies have been on 6 trips so far, both on bus and air, and they are excited to continue traveling. Okay, and so they're about to tell you about all the trips coming up here soon. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them and let them introduce themselves.
Good morning. I'm Paula.
Hi, I'm Merlia. My husband Terry and I travel all over the world. I do your domestic trips. We're back from Oregon. We are headed to Poland in 3 weeks, and we're here to do your international tours and cruises for you.
How about you, Suzanne?
I'm Suzanne Sawyer, and I'm from Fort Dodge.
Hi, I'm Deb. Pretty familiar face. My specialty is all my U.S. motor coach tours. Like Rachel said, I've done 5 tours so far, 5 motor coach tours this summer so far post-COVID, and they've all went well. So we're excited to keep going here. I leave again next week.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the owner of Northland Travel.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Strutzenberg, the manager of Northland Travel. And we would like to share this quote with you to get started today. People may forget years, but do remember moments. Let's make every moment count. So we're hoping that you agree with that quote and will join us in our upcoming tours in the future.
The first trip coming up on Saturday, November 13th is to Lamar's, Iowa. If you don't know it already, Lamar's is the ice cream capital of the world. The good thing about this trip is you don't need to pack a bag. You don't need to stay in a hotel. It's just a one-day trip leaving from Fort Dodge and coming back the same day. We're going to have a step-on art guide. We're going to have a fabulous white Christmas show to kick off the Christmas season and a fabulous meal with dessert, and chocolate was mentioned. This is going to be a fun day, whether you're a single traveler, a couple, or a group of friends. This will be a great kickoff to the Christmas season.
Okay, then we're going to soon hear with fall coming. Christmas is soon to follow behind it. We're going to start off in November 8th to the 11th, doing our annual Branson Christmas. On this particular tour, we'll be seeing 5 different shows. We're going to see the Oak Ridge Boys, which put on a fantastic Christmas show. We're going to go over to Sight and Sound Theater and do Jesus live on stage. We're going to do Daniel O'Donnell. We're going to see Presley's Country Jubilee. We're going to do the Hughes Brothers show while we're there. And then we're also going to take in the Christmas lights the drive-through Christmas lights that they have. So it's going to be a fun trip. Again, November 8th to the 11th. And this trip here is just about full. We've just got a very minimal amount of seats in there. So if you're interested, call and make sure you get, at least on the waiting list for now in case we have a cancellation. So, okay.
And then next up is the Kansas City Holiday Light Shopping Trip from December 2nd through the 4th, 3 days. On a Thursday, we head down to Kansas City, Missouri. We will be staying at the Country Club Plaza, where there's 15 city blocks of beautiful Christmas lights and decorations, 129 stores for shopping. There's fountains and all kinds of things to see and do there. We'll spend one day over at the Crown Center area, looking at the holiday lights there, checking out some of the restaurants and the shopping there. And on Saturday, before we head home, we'll go over to Union Station in Kansas City. The Union Station opened in 1914, and it is now a museum. And so we're going to check that out on our way home. So December 2nd through 4th, a quick trip to Kansas City to see the lights and do some shopping.
Then in December, we're going to do the Nashville Southern Country Christmas. And this will be a 7-day trip. We're going to go down to Nashville. On our way down, we're going to stop in Paducah, Kentucky and see the National Quilt Museum there, which is always a really neat place to see. And then we'll get into Nashville. And while we're in Nashville, we'll spend 3 days and 3 nights there at the Opryland Resort, a beautiful resort. It's got 3 or 4 different atriums there that you can walk through, and they decorate it up so cool at Christmas time. There's shops out there for shopping and just all kinds of really neat things right there at the resort. And while we're there, we will also be taking in a General Jackson showboat. The first night that we get there to Opryland Hotel, we are going to do the Oak Ridge Boys dinner show. So we won't even, and that's right there at the resort, so we won't even have to leave. Another couple of fun things that we're going to do while we're out there is I never go to Nashville without taking in the Grand Ole Opry. So we're going to do that one night as well. And we're going to take in Ice Spectacular. They always have some beautiful ice carvings there that everybody enjoys. And then on our way back up home, we're going to stop in Louisville and spend a day and a night there. And we're going to do the Lights Under Louisville, which is a very unique thing to see and do. And then we're also going to go to Churchill Downs and see Christmas there as well. And then we'll come on up through Peoria, Illinois, and we will stop there for a day and a night and do some fun stuff, a little fun stuff in Peoria. And then also Peoria, Illinois has, for the Midwest, one of the largest, nicest outdoor Christmas drive-through displays, Christmas lighting. And so we're going to do that night as well. So again, that's December 8th to the 14th. I did want to just quick remind you that we only have about 5 weeks. I think it's October 8th that will be the final day for that, for signing up. So please don't wait too long if you're thinking about doing that. Okay. Oh, then it's me again. Okay. So then we're on to Texas in February for our winter trip. This is going to be a 13-day trip. And we'll be taking in some fun things as we head down towards the southern part of Texas. And on the way down, we're going to be going down through Oklahoma. We'll do some iconic Route 66 things as we get down through there. And then eventually end up down in southern Texas. And we're going to stay, heading down to South Padre Island. We're going to stay 3 days and 3 nights in South Padre. You'll have a little free time there to wander around. But we'll also do some other fun group things as well there. And then once we leave South Padre, we're going to come a little bit north and head up to San Antonio. And we'll be spending 3 days and 3 nights in San Antonio as well. So you'll get a chance to unpack and settle in for a few days. And our hotel in San Antonio is right on the Riverwalk. So you can come and go as you please from there. We'll be doing a guided tour of San Antonio also, where we'll walk into the Mission District. You'll get to see that. And then after we leave there, we're coming up through Waco, Texas, and we're going to stop at Magnolia Markets there. Joanna Gaines made this place pretty popular here in the last few years. So we're going to stop and spend a little time there. Then we'll come on up to Fort Worth, Dallas, and we will stay there for a night. And while we're there, we're going to take in the Fort Worth stockyards where you'll get to see longhorn cattle, walk down the street there. And we'll also take in Texas Motor Speedway while we're out there. You'll get a tour out there. So if there's any NASCAR fans, well, you might enjoy that. Then also coming up through, we're going to stop in Oklahoma City on our way home and tour the Oklahoma City Memorial there. That's a very, very neat place to tour. So again, that's February 13th to the 25th. It's 13 days.
Bucket list time. Australia, New Zealand. March 20th to April 18th. It's a 30-day trip, a long one. If you're going over the water, you need to take that length of time. Pricing is unbelievable. We have rolled this trip over a couple times, so we are at prices from 2 years ago. We also have an instant savings, $500 off if this is booked by September 20th or 22nd this year. So unbelievable pricing. All of your air, both over the waters, internal, is included in this. Great Barrier Reef, Uluru, Ayers Rock. Adelaide for the Barossa Wine Country. We'll do Fitzroy Gardens in Melbourne. We'll do Sydney for the Opera House. Then over to Tasmania for the Tasmanian Devil National Park. Both islands, both north and south in New Zealand, Milford Sound, Rotorua, all the Maori country. Then on the back, we're going to do 3 nights in Fiji. September 22nd, $500 off by that time. Don't miss this chance to do your bucket list trip.
And then comes spring. So on March 31st through April 4th, it's cherry blossom time in Washington, D.C. We will fly out of Des Moines to Reagan Airport in Washington, D.C. area. We'll be staying in Alexandria, Virginia. We'll spend 1 day at Arlington National Cemetery, see the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. We'll walk around to all the different monuments and memorials, Lincoln, Washington, Vietnam, Korean. There's so many there to see. So we'll spend 1 day doing that. The next day, we will go back down to the National Mall, and you will have an opportunity to visit as many of the Smithsonian museums as you can squeeze in, depending on how long you want to spend in each one. The Holocaust Museum is down there. Museum of Natural History, the African American, Native American. There's just too many to mention. National Archives, Art Museum. So you have an opportunity to pick and choose what you want to see there. Then we'll spend a day out at Mount Vernon, George Washington's estate, and then we will fly back home on Monday. So that's March 31st through April 4th, cherry blossom time in DC.
Then April 10th to the 18th. This is a trip that I'm really, really excited about. We're going to do a 9-day trip. It's going to be on the American Queen Riverboat. We're going to do an American Queen Riverboat cruise. We will fly from Des Moines to Memphis. The American Queen will actually sail from Memphis to New Orleans. And we'll fly from Des Moines to Memphis. And then we will spend part of a day there the next day touring Memphis before we get on the riverboat late that afternoon. And then for 8 days and 8 nights, we will be right on the riverboat. Lodging, dining, entertainment are all inclusive on the riverboat. We'll be making various port stops just about every day while we're cruising. We'll be visiting Vicksburg, Mississippi, Natchez, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a couple other different ports as well. And we're also going to be throwing in a swamp boat tour one day where we'll go back into the bayou and see the alligators and some of these other stops that we're going to be making, like in Vicksburg and Natchez, and that they've got these hop-on, hop-off buses that are complimentary as well. Where you can just get on the bus and go around the area that we're in and stop and see what you want to see and then catch the next bus back, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a good time. And then we're going to get down, finally end up in New Orleans. We'll get off the riverboat that morning, and then we will be met by a bus down there that will take us around in a step-on guide, and we'll tour New Orleans. and then end up around noon down there on the French Quarter, where you'll have a few hours that afternoon then to just run around the French Quarter, check out the shops, the French market, which is a really cool thing to see. And then also you'll get to do some shopping down there, and they've got really neat restaurants and all that stuff. And then we'll be met by their bus later that afternoon that'll take us out to the airport and fly us home that night. So it's going to be a really spectacular trip. I'm super excited about it. We do have, full information on this along with pricing and everything. So if you're interested, please get in touch with Rhonda or myself, and we'll get you the information. Another thing I did want to bring up about this trip too is this is a definite go. Regardless if we have 10 people or we have 30 people, why this trip will be a go. So don't wait too long to sign up if you're interested or get some information. Then in May, late April, early May, depending on the exact date, I'm going to do a NASCAR trip. This is one that we haven't done a NASCAR race now in a couple of years, and so I thought I was going to give it a try again. I don't know at this point right now where we're going to be going. The 2022 NASCAR schedule has not come out yet. It should be. I was just looking up information the other day, and they said within the upcoming weeks they should have next year's schedule. So as soon as I get that schedule, I will determine where we're going to go. But if it works out, we're going to plan to take in 2 races, both the Xfinity race and the regular Cup race. So you should get 2 races in. So it should be a fun time. Again, that'll be coming out late April, early May. So I'll have some information on that one real soon as well.
All right, then we'll be off to Alaska. We do an annual group tour to Alaska each summer in June. Although the last couple summers were suspended due to COVID, but next year we have a lot of people that have been anticipating this trip for a couple years. So we're excited to be able to get to go in 2022. It's June 7th to the 18th. We fly into Anchorage. We'll take the McKinley Explorer, which is the domed rail cars, up to Denali, and do a tundra wilderness tour there. Then we go on up to Fairbanks and we get to pan for gold. Then over to Whitehorse, into the Yukon Territory. And then we go down and catch our cruise for the last 4 days of the trip. And then we end in Vancouver before we fly home. And I will be having another show specifically on Alaska, which we'll talk about towards the end here. And I'll give you that date and time if you're interested and get more details on that.
Then another new trip that I'm going to put together for next year. It will be in June, and we're going to go on a little salmon fishing trip over into eastern Wisconsin. This should be about a 4-day trip. We're going to go over to Port Washington, Wisconsin, which is just north of Milwaukee a little bit. And we'll go out on a boat out there and do like 2 half days of salmon fishing. So I think that'll be fun. Just something different. Got to kind of spruce things up here a little bit and keep changing things to keep everybody's interest. So again, that will be in June sometime. I should have information on that coming out here real soon.
Are you ready to rock and roll? We're headed to the city where it started, Detroit. We're going to do the Motown Museum, the Heidelberg Project, the Ford Picourt plant, the Parade Company Studios, then on to Cleveland, where we're going to do some rock. It's a little more rock and roll. We'll visit the Christmas Story House, relax on the Nautical Queen for a dinner cruise. We'll tour the city. Coming home, we're going to hit South Bend Chocolate Factory and the Studebaker. Mid-June 2022, we're going to rock and roll. Canadian Rockies. This is one we're bringing back that you've requested again for us. July 28th to August 6th. If you like the U.S. Rockies, the Canadian Rockies are much more majestic. We're going to fly in and out of Calgary. We'll go up through Banff, which is a fun little town. We'll visit Lake Louise with the chateau. On up to Jasper. We're going to ride the snow coach on the Athabasca Glacier. So July 28th to August 6th, Canadian Rockies.
Then in July, I'm going to do Colorado by train. I switch back and forth. One year I do Colorado and one year I do Wyoming. And we just did Wyoming here 4 or 5 weeks ago. And so next year it will be Colorado. And I'm going to take in quite a few train rides this time on this particular trip. We're going to be doing the Durango to Silverton train, which is down in southwest Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful all-day train ride down there. And then we're also going to be doing the Royal Gorge train. And later that day, then we'll visit Royal Gorge Park. The train goes right down at the bottom of the gorge, and you can see 1,000 feet up. You can see the bridge up above that goes across the gorge. And then that afternoon, when we visit Royal Gorge Park, you can walk out on that bridge and look down 1,000 feet, and you'll see where you took the train ride that morning. So that's pretty cool. We're also going to do Pikes Peak Railway. That's been closed down for a couple of years now due to improvements they're making on it and everything. But they're finally got it back open, so we're going to take that in as well. We're going to do the Cripple Creek train ride where we'll do a visit to the mine right there also as well. So just lots of fun, taking a few other things too. Again, Colorado by train, which will be in July of next year. That will be about an 8-day trip, I believe, something like that.
And then we're in the planning stages, so we don't have a definite date yet on this one, but sometime next summer between June and August, we'll be headed to the National Shrines of Wisconsin. We'll be visiting the National Shrine of Mary, Help of Christians, also known as Holy Hill. It's a beautiful site not far from Milwaukee, has gardens, tower to climb, grottos to visit. Beautiful sites there, beautiful site. And we will also head up to Our Lady of Good Help National Shrine in Champion, Wisconsin. That's just a little ways from Green Bay. It's the site of a Marian apparition, a place that survived the Great Fire of 1871 that destroyed acres and acres and miles of land. So this place survived. Be interesting to see that. We will also visit some of the sites in and around Green Bay and in Milwaukee itself. Head over to a chapel that was made in France and move to the campus of Marquette. We're going to try and get in to see that. Hopefully get into the Pabst Brewery, maybe get a sample. So be watching for more information on the National Shrines of Wisconsin next summer.
Then in August of next year, August 8th to the 12th, it's going to be a 5-day trip. I'm going back out and do the Indiana Amish tour. I just got back last week from doing that. And my group loved it. We did a lot of fun things, a lot of hands-on things, and went out into the back roads of Amish country there, and they got to go to bakeries and different fun places, you know, that they're right in their homes there. We went out and visited a buggy maker and just a lot of fun things. And so we're going to do that again next year, and I'm going to throw in some more fun things as well. So again, be looking for that for August 8th to the 12th, 5 days. Those are the dates. I will be getting the information, the details, and the pricing that out here within the next probably 2 months. So then in late August, early September, right after Labor Day, we're going to do the Southwest tour. And that will be probably about a 8, 9, 10-day tour, something like that. We're going to go out and do some fun things on our way down through to get to the Southwest. We're going down and visit, then eventually get down to the Grand Canyon, where we will take that in. We will, the night before we do the Grand Canyon, we'll stop in Williams, Arizona. And then that next morning from Williams, we'll jump on a train and take it up to the Grand Canyon. Then once we get to the Grand Canyon, this will be the South Rim. Once we get to the Grand Canyon, we get on a bus, a park bus, and we ride around there, and you'll get off and on before you get to take pictures and see all the big sights of the canyon and all that. And then later that afternoon, we'll leave and then travel on up to Page, Arizona, where we'll spend a day there as well, doing some fun things there. Antelope Canyon, which I don't want to tell you a whole lot about that place. That is a surprise. It's a super, super neat thing, but it's really cool. We'll also be visiting Bryce National Park. We're going to take in the Cumbros Toltec New Mexico train ride on this trip as well. And then coming down through Oklahoma, like I said, we're going to be doing some Route 66 icons. So, and just lots of fun things. So again, this is right after Labor Day of next year. I'll have this pricing out here within the next couple months as well. Then in September, I'm going to do the circle tour of Lake Michigan. And every year I do Mackinac Island. As a matter of fact, we're leaving next week for Mackinac Island. And so I try and include different routing each year when I do Mackinac. And next year, we're going to do the circle tour of Lake Michigan. I don't know exactly what spots we're going to be stopping in just yet. I don't have the whole tour put together. But we will be taking in, again, like I always do, 2 days and 2 nights on Mackinac Island, where we'll stay right on the island. We'll do a carriage tour of the island, and you'll get to have lunch up at the Grand Hotel and just a bunch of other fun things there, besides have some nice relaxing time on the island. So be watching for that again here pretty soon too, where we'll be coming out with more information on that for the circle tour of Lake Michigan in September of next year.
And then in September also, we're going to do the annual Black Hills Buffalo Roundup. And this will be very interesting. They said some years they've seen up to 1,400 buffalo rounded up. So it's the annual buffalo count for Custer State Park. We're also going to visit Mount Rushmore, Bear Country, and Waldrug, South Dakota, which is a famous town in South Dakota. So hope you can join us for that.
Okay, then in October of next year, this is a trip that I was going to do in 2020, and then when we couldn't do it because of COVID, I didn't have space this year to do it, so we knocked it into next year, rolled it over. So in October of next year, I'm going to be doing the fall colors of the Ozark Mountains. We'll be taking in, we're going to go down on our way down through and probably spend 1 night in Branson and see a show there, and then we're going to head on down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and spend a day or 2 down there. While we're down there, we'll be taking in the outdoor passion play, which is very popular down there, and that's a really neat thing to see. You'll get to tour the passion play area there. It's cool. And then we're also going to be doing a train ride right back into the Ozark Mountains there one day, which is a neat thing. On our way back up through, when we get back up into Missouri, we're going to come up through Lake of the Ozarks, and we're going to one day do a Lake of the Ozarks cruise as well before we wander on back up home. So again, this is October of next year. Then in later October, the first one, the Ozark Mountain will probably be the earlier part of October, and this autumn in the Smoky Mountains is going to be later October. But we're going to be taking that in as well. And the Smoky Mountains in the fall are just super, super, super gorgeous. Once we get down there, we'll do some fun things on the way down. And then once we get into the Smoky Mountains, we're going to go out and do a tour of the Smoky Mountains. I have a super good gal that comes on and spends a couple of days with us, just taking us around different spots right in the Smoky Mountains. We'll visit Gatlinburg. We're going to visit Pigeon Forge, Dollywood. We'll go there one day. So just another fun trip. So again, this will be in October, late October of next year.
And then we're looking at the Adriatic and Dalmatian coasts for next year. It's a small ship experience aboard the Charisma. You'll cruise the Adriatic Sea and experience stops in Croatia. You'll see different historic sites along the way. The ship that you're on just has 19 staterooms, so it is very small. And for our group, we can't get the full 19. So if you're interested, let us know, and we can get the details out to you as soon as we have everything put together for that one.
From breathtaking scenery in Agazu Falls to historic architecture, monuments, we're inviting you November 1 to 12 to join Terry and I for everything South America has to offer. We're going to journey through Brazil, Argentina, and Chile on this trip. We're going to ride the cog train up the top of the mountain. You'll stand next to one of the wonders of the modern world, the 7 wonders of the modern world, Christ the Redeemer statue. We'll visit both the Brazilian and the Argentinian National Park. You're going to see a Gezu Falls from both the Brazil and the Argentina side. End up with a dinner and a tango show in Argentina. Mark 3 more countries off your bucket list: Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and join us November 1 to 12 of 2022.
Then before you know it, it's Christmas time, 2022. So then I'll be back to doing my November annual Branson Christmas tour that I always do. I don't know what shows I'll be taking in at this time yet. I'm sure one will definitely be at the Sight and Sound Theater and probably Daniel O'Donnell. But I don't know what the other ones will be. But this will be another 4-day trip, usually the first to second week in December or in November. Then in December, the first week in December of next year, I'm going to do the Southern Country Christmas. I try and do Nashville just at Christmas time just about every year. It's so much fun down there. So we'll be doing that again. We will be taking in Nashville, staying at the Opryland again, just like this year for a couple of nights. And then we also are going to take in Memphis, where we're going to go over and do Graceland and in Memphis. And Graceland is really cool to see at Christmas time too. So again, those are next year, November and December of 2022 for Christmas next year.
Some of our 23 group tours in the works. And do remember, if we run into anything that we need to move any of our 2021 or 22 tours, they are going to roll. So we'll pick up and keep our pricing on it if you're interested in any of them. Safari, again. We're going to do South Africa this time. We did Kenya last time. Now the wildlife and the beauty of South Africa. Kruger National Park. We're going to look for the big 5: Cape Buffalo, leopards, lions, rhinos. We'll do Cape Town, the Cape of Good Hope. We're also going to go into Zimbabwe, and we will visit Victoria Falls. That's South Africa 2023. Then on to Scandinavia. We want to ride that Flan train, the land of the midnight sun with the Arctic Circle, visiting Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, those Scandinavian countries. Last time we went to the Med, we did the Eastern Med. Many of you have requested the Western Med, so we are going to do the Western Med cruise. That we'll be doing Greece and all the historic ports east of there, hoping to pick up a few of the other stops into Israel and Turkey at that same time. That one, again, is a watch for that perfect Eastern Med tour for you.
Then in the summer of 2023, I'm going to be doing the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands American cruise tour. This, again, is Puget Sound and San Juan Islands are kind of off the coast of Seattle out there. So we'll fly you out to Seattle, and then we'll get on the cruise ship, or the American Cruise Lines, and we will take you around that area for, I think it's about a 7 or 8 day trip. So again, be watching for more information on that coming up here, in a few months.
Then we want to take a quick moment to remind you about the identification for traveling. The Real ID for your driver's license, which is the Gold Star, has been extended to May of 2023. So that won't be required for your domestic flights until May of 2023. But keep that in mind as you renew your license. You can get that taken care of at the same time. And then passports, there's a little bit of a delay in processing passports currently. If it's a new application, we're told it's taking up to 6 months. And if it's a renewal, we're told it's about a 4-month time frame currently. So if you're planning ahead or looking forward to any of these international trips that we're offering, please check your passports. And if they need to be renewed, get those done sooner rather than later. And then the Onstage Alaska show will be virtual this year. We team up with Holland America, and they will have a couple of representatives with us online for September 14th at 6:30 p.m. We'd like to have you join us if you're interested in traveling to Alaska. Just get in touch with me because I need to send you out a registration link to sign up for this. And they're going to offer a lot of specials that evening and tell you all about Alaska and also our featured group tour for traveling in June of 2022. And now, kind of in wrapping things up, we want to let you know that if you are interested in any of the tours that we've talked about today, give me a call. If you sign up by September 15th, we'll give you an additional $25 off per person. We also have a lot of early booking discounts on several of our tours that are combinable with this $25 off as long as you book by September 15th. So give me a call and we can go over any details on any of that.
Awesome. Here we are back. So many great trips we just learned about there. Now would be the time. If you have any comments or questions, the team is here and ready to answer any questions for you. Another reason why I like this day, gang, is I like this image of us. It just reminds me of the Brady Bunch, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, yep, we'll have just a few, maybe a minute or so for any straggling comments or questions if you have any. Again, I'll remind you, great places to find itineraries other than calling the office, which you are always welcome to call the office, and we'd be happy to mail out any information to you. You can also find information on our Facebook page, which clearly you've found today, and hopefully you come back and visit us often. We have a lot of information available on the Facebook page. You can see us on our website, northlandtravel.com. There's a group tours page and itineraries listed there as they become available with pricing. And yeah, we'd just love to get info into your hands whenever you'd like. So Rhonda, maybe do you want to touch on a little bit about the pricing info?
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that a lot of the tours that we talked about today have pricing available soon. Please let us know what trips you're interested in. We'll keep track of that. And as soon as the pricing is finalized, we'll make sure you get those itineraries with the pricing in your hands. And by booking early, that's going to give you the best deal on all these tours that we offer. So please keep watching our website. We are continually adding more tours to our lineup as we see things that become of interest. So if you don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And we hope to see you traveling with Northland in the future.
Yes.
Absolutely. A big old thank you for joining us. And if you're catching us on the replay, be sure to watch all the way through. You might find that trip that you're loving right at the end. So again, reach out with any questions or comments that you may have. And thanks so much for joining us today. Happy September. Happy traveling, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.